Now, when I was looking you up and I was Googling you, I realized that you played keys for Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
How in the hell did that happen?
All right. This is crazy. I love telling. It's good to have this story finally told. So I go up there. Yeah, let's keep it going. The Lauryn Hill. Cheers too, man.
Cheers. Thank you, brother.
Cheers to the cast, man. Cheers to the podcast. All right, Lauryn Hill. So Tim Dillinger brings me out to New York. I play for his band. He's got a band called Soul Kiss. Now, they have musicians from New York up there. They were using this guy named Adam Minkoff. Shout outs to Adam because he's amazing, bass player. But Adam couldn't make the first gig that they were doing. So they had called another guy that couldn't make the gig. Then they called another guy who could make the gig. And that guy, his name is Nate Jones on bass. Now, wow. Nate Jones on bass is phenomenal. We would listen to it in the morning. Nate Jones on bass is playing bass on In the Morning.
Wow.
That's him. So Nate Jones took a liking to me. He had an open mic going every Wednesday in Brooklyn, and I would go play. His drummer for that open mic was Lauryn Hill's MD at the time. Wow. A guy named James Rouse. Biscuit. Amazing. Amazing drummer. Great guy. Amazing drummer. Shout out to Biscuit. So Nate, it was Nate. He had another keyboard player there too. It wasn't just me, Nate, and Biscuit. It was another guy that he had there. And Nate was just showing love and letting me just come and sit in, make a little bit of change, and be exposed and expose myself to his community. I mean, in an open mic, what easier way to do it than an open mic? So, and that's the thing that I noticed quickly about New York. Like, you could be at an open mic playing with Lauryn Hill's MD as the drummer.
It's crazy.
He was a drummer.
Holy.
And it's crazy how I even got that gig because he asked me to come, and she was doing auditions looking for a keyboard player at the time. And it was just right around, you can go look at that, right around the time they did this thing called Ragamuffin Tour, and they was in Australia.
Yeah.
Come back from Australia. She's about to start back out doing stuff. This is 2010. And if you know about all the shit she's going through before, it's wild. It's 2010, so I go to the audition. She asked me to play this crazy ass shit. It's kind of wild what you got to play, but I played it. And it's like Jamaican music, mad fast, bro. It was mad funny of what I had to play. And I go and play and do my thing. And she says, I don't like him. I'm not feeling him. You're talking about me. She tells business, I'm not feeling this nigga. And so... Hey. Side note, at the time, if you offer all the gospel enthusiasts, I'm playing for James Hall at the time, too. If you know about gospel music, James Hall is big in gospel music. I was playing for him before. So crazy. While I'm playing for him and we're doing all this thing, I go to this Lauryn Hill audition. She doesn't like me. Swear to God. I had just gotten a church gig, too, in New York. St. John. Shout out to them. St. James. Jesus Christ. And I go back. I didn't get it. And that following Sunday, we had to play at church, and we did like a night service. And I swear, it was, and everything, I'm not telling everything that was going on at the time. Like, I was looking for a place to live. I had a lot going on. I was playing for James Hall. I had just been in New York for like a month or two, so I was broke as fuck. And then, it was just, but it was a lot going on. And the context was I was playing at this church, and I was, how if you know about church music, you gotta wait 2 weeks if it's a big church. I had to wait 2 weeks to get my money, so that 2 weeks, I was like, oh God, struggling like a motherfucker, man, just struggling my ass off, just doing whatever I could do, like to make ends meet. And I remember, bro, I had $100 bill and I was staying with Tim, and I was staying with his bandmates at the time, and they were leaving. They were moving out of where they were living at in Long Island. I had to find a place to live in New York. And I swear to God, I took a tithing envelope. I put $100 in there. I wrote on the back of it, I need a place to live. Put it in church. This is a real story. And that night, I got a call, that Sunday night. If you know anything about New York, I'm at the Jamaica station, Long Island Railroad, and I get a call right at the Long Island Railroad as I'm about to go back to Long Island, which I was living at the time, and it was my man Biscuit. He was like, yo, Lauryn needs a sub tonight for keys. Can you come to Jersey right now and sub tonight? I'm in Long Island. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going. Yeah. Go to the rehearsal. And me Me and El Boogie, bro, it was really like a big sister, little brother thing. Cause I started joking when I got there. Like the same way we joke.
Yeah.
But I was even more menacing because he was the first person I ever seen that had her purse in a chair. She had a chair for her purse. She didn't put her purse on the ground. And I had never seen no shit like that. I was like, hey, nigga, you got a whole... That's how y'all famous people... that's my thing. That's how you famous niggas do it. You got fucking chairs for your purses, nigga. Like, damn. And so she thought... And I mean, and she... From what I know at the time, she wasn't a very communicative person. Like, she wasn't outgoing. And she just busted out laughing. Busted out laughing. And she know I was joking. And the whole rehearsal... I was just joking,
That's
bro.
great,
I'm
man.
barely playing anything. Just joking the whole time, making jokes. Just being a fucking class clown, bro. And she was like, you know what? That's my guy. And then, for the next 2 years, I was her guy, man.
Wow.
And that's how that happened, man. That's how that whole thing happened,
That is amazing. Wow.
Unexpected, too. Because, like I said, I went to our first auditions. Oh, well, I'm not getting the Lauryn Hill gig. Oh, well. Like, it's all right. It wasn't the most, oddly enough, it wasn't the most detrimental thing because I had a lot going on. Even though I didn't have a lot of money, I had a lot of things going on, and I knew that, like, I was where I was supposed to be. So, if I'm not getting the Lauryn Hill gig, it's not for me. And that's it. And I wrote it off. The day I didn't get it, I was like, okay, it's over. Bro, that shit was so crazy. Like, going to that rehearsal, getting the gig, and I mean the next week, bro, we're like in California. And the week after that, I'm in South America for like 3 months, for a month and a half. And I had never done no shit like that. Never been so it's just like, oh shit. Like, it was my first oh shit moment. You talk about taking off, I was like, oh shit, I'm on a plane to Brazil right now. And we did a gig in Africa, my first time going to Africa. So
What was that like?
It was funny because I realized what culture was and what nationalism was. Like, because I'm black doesn't mean I'm going to go to Africa and all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I'm at home and I'm just going to be all in there, all with the customs. It's culture. And I realized I was American when I went there. I asked for juice. They bring me back like apple puree, like real apples blended up, like it's real apple juice. But I'm like, nigga, wait a minute, man. Ignorant, but I just realized. I realized.
You from out east, man. You trying to.
Nigga from out east, bro. I'm in Kigali. I don't know about that shit, bro. I'm in Rwanda. I don't know about this fucking hotel. I don't know nothing about the Hotel Rwanda thing. Nothing. I don't know shit about shit, bro. And all that shit made me realize what culture was. What nationalism was. Like, oh, my culture is out east nigga, and my nationalism is American. I'm American, and that made me realize, just what all that was, man. It was a culture shock for sure.
Yes.
I was like, I want to go home. I want to go back to. I was over there my first time. I was over there. I was like, this is great, but I want to go back home. The thing that got me though was everybody's black. That does everything. And the black people there, knowing that you're American, you would think, because of the stories that, especially now in this day and age, this is 2010, 11, so it's a little bit different, but these days you would think that like Africans are hostile to black Americans or don't like us. Bro, those are some of the nicest people. The motherfuckers didn't even raise their voice when they spoke to us. It was very like they treated us because we were Lauryn Hill and we're musicians from America. We're black. It was just like, oh, do you need anything, sir? Like, very like, treat us like royalty almost. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I'm from out east. I had never experienced niggas treat me like that. I was like, nigga, speak up, nigga. Damn, talk loud. I'm telling nigga, hey, nigga, speak up, nigga, damn. Not knowing that it's a respectful custom to talk in a certain tone to somebody that you're servicing. I had no idea, bro. So it was life changing, man. It gave me culture.
Wow, man.
But that was that whole thing. Africa was great. The second time, way better. I was like, oh yeah.
You knew what to expect then. And
I knew what to expect. I was a little bit more cultured at that point. I had been around and seen things, and I knew how to travel. I knew how to go to a different place and explore and see that shit. So,
what's something that stuck with you when working with Lauryn Hill, like in those sessions? And
Work ethic. How the media can make you believe you know a person. How media can make you believe that I knew Lauryn Hill, or I knew anything about her. And when I actually met her, it wasn't like anything that could have been reported or was reported at the time. She's like a theologian. She knows the Bible very well. And we talk about that. You know, like we talk about shit like that. And so very intelligent person. I had never met a person like that. This is a thing that I think that the music community here, we talk about hip hop and R&B, is missing. It's actually knowing people like that and having people like that exist in your world. Think about it. Just one of the most intelligent, successful women of all time. And she's really intelligent, not dumb. It just broke me down a lot. And when they say culture shock, it just showed me what my culture was and what I believed and how I could be wrong. And not wrong in my culture and what I believe, but I could be misguided for sure. And I could be misled, and I could be subject to propaganda, and I could believe it. Because here I am sitting in front of this brilliantly intelligent, talented person, and I'm sitting there shocked like that this person isn't crazy like everybody had told me she was. Mm-hmm. That manic work ethic, we would rehearse for 8 to 10 hours sometimes, and she would go home and go to sleep and do her thing with the children and come back like 5 to 6 hours later, 7 hours later, and run it again. That she showed me what work ethic was. And I mean, it was my first touring family. So it's just like I learned everything, like who I am as a touring artist or who as a person. A lot was, through that. It was the first time I had been around people that were from the islands like that. Yeah. It was just a culture shock, man. I was 25 when I did that. And I just remember feeling like being a grown up, but also being a child. In that situation, because I was so culture shocked and I had to learn so many things just about how to live and like what your culture is. Like what does that mean? What does that mean to be exposed to something that you never knew existed? And it's almost antithetical to everything that you've ever believed. What is that? So it's being around that kind of person. But the work ethic, the traveling, the attention to detail, the care, the willingness to find inspiration anywhere, and the idea, mostly why I'm so even keeled about all the success and shit is like that, because that's a person that had success, and it didn't like avail the things that we all think success and money avails you. You know what I'm saying? It availed her like, having a lot of crazy shit happening to her. So even to look at like mainstream success or what it is to be successful in this world, in America, it just challenged all that. Because before I'm moving up there, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to make money, play for a big artist, do all this shit. And she just changed all that shit for me. Like, man. Like, why do you play music? What is music for? Wow. And I learned all that being there, for sure. Wow. Okay. So it changed. It kind of set me off, like, that's a lineage, and that's a place of, like, thought, where thoughts come out of, and what I believe about life. Like, culture comes out of being into a system like that, like a Lauryn Hill system, because it ain't just her. She got singers, a band. She has people, maids. She has children. She has all kind of shit. And being around all of that, you get an experience that could change you culturally. And I think that was just, I got a culture shock, and I just got, she calls it baptized in the fire. And I got baptized in the fire on that. That set me up to do everything else.